you chat?
Always. Aloha.
Hi.
How are you?
It is the week of Thanksgiving.
And we're thankful, so it's perfect timing.
We're giving thanks. What are you thankful for?
Well, you.
Aw.
And you. Shouldn't take you this long.
There were so many other things I was going to say. For one, Franny, your dog.
Yeah. I mean, we're both very blessed, so I have a lot to be thankful for.
I mean, she is just the sweetest.
Your other niece, Ruby, is staring at you, confused.
No. Come on up here, Franny.
There's such an inequity in the way that you love my children. By
Settle
children,
in
I mean
with your
dogs.
aunt.
Do you feel guilty about that?
Not at all.
Are you going to do this with my children? Play favorites?
I don't know. Is that so bad?
Yes! Favoritism is horrible.
My grandma loved me more than she loved my brother.
That's not true. She liked you more. I'm just kidding.
And my aunt loved me more than she loved my brother, too. It was clear.
Again,
I was much closer with her than he was.
I don't think that's love. I think that's liking. You just click with people more.
Okay, I'm sorry. I love them equally. I click with Franny.
Huh.
She's a soul dog to me.
She's a good baby. They're both good babies.
I saw her little face online and I thought, that is a cute dog.
We're very fortunate. We have wonderful lives and wonderful pups. So what's new?
We have a short week, work-wise.
Which is the best?
Heading into the holiday, which I will be hosting.
Woo-hoo.
Somehow I host Thanksgiving when I hate hosting things.
Yeah, but
Year after year.
you host it and then it's like over. You just host one thing.
That's kind of how hosting is.
Yeah.
Usually people don't have people over at their homes for, days on end. What kind of host would that be?
I just mean like you get it done. It's over. It's always fun.
Yeah, fun, but whew.
I would host, like I only host one thing a year. I would host more if we had a bigger house. Like I'm happy to take Thanksgiving from you when we have a bigger house.
Yeah, it's just like, the prep, the cleaning before, the cleaning after. Then you're also cooking. But
No.
you help.
Yeah. No, but it is a lot. You take on a lot. And we appreciate you. We're thankful.
I'm not told that enough.
And we're thankful.
Yeah, thanks. How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. No real news to report. Productive. Put up my Christmas tree. Obsessed with it.
And it looks like
I ended up putting tinsel on
a
it.
child's art project.
No, it doesn't. It looks so chic and beautiful. I'll post a pic for people to see.
Please do.
I would love
Let's
to get
take a
people's.
poll.
I would love to get people's opinion.
On tinsel.
I love my tinsel.
It literally looks like you were putting up your tree and then there was a giant storm that blew out your windows and a box of tinsel, like blue strings all over onto your tree.
I resent that because I took a painstaking amount of time to make sure it was balanced. So
There's no balance.
So unless it was
in shiny strings.
it looks beautiful. I'm going to post a picture and people will agree.
All
I'm
right.
curious to hear what people think.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really kind of the weekend. We
You know
watched
what you
football.
didn't do?
What?
You didn't see Wicked.
No, we did. We were supposed to go with you, but then plans changed and we couldn't come.
And I did see Wicked.
And so you feel superior?
It was... I don't know.
Wait, you cannot go into your Wicked recap. I need you. I'm begging you to tell people about what happened with your milkshakes.
Oh. Okay.
I'm begging.
So usually we are of the mindset that you have to bring a snack into the movie. Like unless you're getting popcorn at the movie theater, because movie theater popcorn is superior, we'll get Froyo or we'll get Diet Cokes at least from McDonald's.
We don't bring a whole 4-course meal, but we bring a snack.
No, and we don't bring anything that smells weird,
Oh my God. No, of course. We're respectful.
But we bring a snack into the movie. And so Mike and I were going to see the movie and I was like, let's stop and get something to eat in the movie. We'd already had dinner and there was no Froyo around. So I was like, whatever, let's just get these milkshakes. So we get milkshakes and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't bring a bigger bag, like a tote bag to put our movie snack in. I literally only had, I was wearing a bigger jacket because it was cold out and I had a fanny pack in the car. Nothing that would hold a milkshake.
Not prepared.
So Mike was like, you know, you can bring stuff into the movie. Like, you don't have to hide it.
I want to pause really quickly because Mike is so sweet and so like go with the flow. And I can't remember the last time he took like such an active like stand. Like that's what the funniest part of the story is. So Mike is like, you can 100% bring milkshakes, right?
Yes. So he's like, it's just a social norm to not bring food into a movie theater. But like, you can. There's no rule against it. And I was like, I don't think that's true at all. And he was like, I worked at a movie theater. I know. I was like, first of all, I don't think there's like a national movie theater policy like across Regal, AMC, Marcus Cinemas. It's all the same.
The constitution of movie theaters.
Yes. It's all the same outside food policy. No. Number two, it's not allowed. I just know. Like, I didn't make this up. I wouldn't have been sneaking like food into my movies in a backpack for the last 20 years.
Like, we come from women who sneak things into movie theaters. Like, our mothers would not have been going through the trouble of sneaking candy in if they could have just bought it.
My mom, in her like heyday of Weight Watchers, would pop like an entire bag of popcorn at home and then like put it in one of those like heater bags and shove it into her tote and then pull out a bag of popcorn at the movie theater. Like,
my
no
mom
one's
would-
going through this hassle.
My mom would make us stop at the Dollar Tree. She was like, I'm not paying for the candy there. We would get $15 worth of candy, tons of selections. We'd shove them in my mom's purse and doot, doot, doot,
Yeah.
right on through.
Yeah, this is not something that we've made up for the fucking fun of it. So he's like, no, it's a social norm. And I go, okay. Because like, I'm not going to argue with you. I know that I'm right.
And,
But
like, maybe he is. Like, we're open to the possibility.
But you know what? If you're right and they don't even say anything, like I walk in holding a milkshake in my fucking hand and they're just like, go on through, I would really just be shook. But maybe they do.
And that would be amazing.
Yep. So we get to the movie. I am
Just got a picture of this.
I'm like, here we go. I'm smiling my ass off because I know that we're about to get our milkshakes, which were like, you know, fucking $10 each,
Oh, God.
$20 down the drain. We're walking into the movie theater and there's like a line to get in because we saw Wicked on opening weekend. So it was crazy town.
Milkshakes and heads held
Yeah,
high.
it's us holding our milkshakes and then people dressed like Galinda and Elphaba.
Oh, it's a crazy place.
So we get to the front of the thing and, you know, some guy who takes his job exceptionally seriously. I'm like, hi, 2 for Wicked. I hold up my phone and I'm also holding a milkshake in the other hand. Mike's behind me, milkshake in hand. And the guy goes, first of all, you can't bring outside food in the theater. And second of all, I'll need to see an ID. I go,
wait, is it R?
no, I don't know what the fuck their policy was. You had to like show an ID to match your tickets that you
Oh
bought.
my God. I bought these on the black market. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck do you care?
Yeah, I stole these off a kid outside.
Got them on my phone wallet too.
So I was like, oh, you can't bring outside food in? And he goes, no.
Like, is this your first
No.
movie?
Like, have you not ever been to the movies?
He's like, we have a newbie in door G.
I turn back and look at Mike and I'm like, you can't bring in outside food. And this bitch was stunned.
What? Why didn't he ever say anything for the years we've been bringing shit in? He just had this epiphany.
I think because we always had a bag, so it was like he wasn't going to be like, no need. It was just like I didn't have a bag.
Oh God.
And I was like, this is a problem. So he's like, we can't bring these in. And the guy goes, again, no.
You moron.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, thank you. We step out of line. I go, I'll go throw them away. We walk outside. I'm like, I fucking told you. He's like, I've never heard of that before. I
I'm
was
gonna
like,
write the senior VP of international movie law.
no, literally. I was like, did you work at a movie theater in Saudi Arabia? This is a rule everywhere. If you could bring in outside food, how would concessions make any money?
And they wouldn't be able to quadruple charge you. Like,
What a horrible business plan financially, financial man.
Finance man.
Isn't that
Fan
your
man.
isn't that your fucking title, fan man? Fin man?
Oh, God. This story has brought me joy for 3 days. I thought of it yesterday by myself and just started laughing. Totally by myself.
I don't know what joy. It just brings anger to me. So I'm like, well, I'm not throwing out these milkshakes because I'm cheap as shit. Like,
Well, and you want your fucking milkshake.
yeah,
That's
I
why
want
got
to
it.
enjoy a milkshake. It's like, no, I don't want a fucking icy. I want a milkshake, or I want whatever the fuck I brought. So I just stuck them in like the back of my leggings, and like, because I was wearing a big puffy coat, and we walked right in that way.
That's women
But
inventors for you.
yes, that's a go-getter. And
We're like the Elon Musk of bringing snacks into movie theaters.
I said to Mike, actually, because then like we go in, the guy's like, enjoy the show.
hello, morons.
Yeah. Oh, these two again. We get inside, we sit in our chairs, and I'm like, I pull out my milkshake from my ass crack and put it in my
Sounds delicious.
put it in my cup holder. Mike sits down next to me, and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. I take my coat off and use it as a blanket. I press the little button in my recliner to recline back. Feet don't come up.
I wish I'd gone to this movie just to watch this unfold.
No one enjoys my torture more than you.
I do. Because I could just picture your face at these experiences. Like, oh, you sat down, you got your milkshake, blanket. I can see the joy in your face.
Just drain.
And then you click the button and you're like, rage. Like, no one goes from joy to rage like you do.
So mine doesn't come up, and I'm like, does your seat work? And this is a sold out movie. I mean, there's no
Wall to wall.
we had to we bought two seats that weren't even together in the same row to just like ask a couple people to move down so we could sit next to each other. Like, there is no seat left. And Mike's like, let me try. His doesn't work either. I go, oh my God, maybe that's why these two seats were available.
How would people know?
I don't know. They
They're
might have
gonna
been
know.
like blacked out or something. I'm like, our fucking chairs don't work. I'm going to kill someone. This is a 3-hour movie.
Oh my God.
I mean, we're going to be here for 3 hours without our recliner chairs.
Rip off.
So Mike's like, well, I'll go out and see if there's any seats that are still available. And I go, nope. Let me see if our recliners are plugged in. So I climb behind our chairs.
We've had this issue before.
We have. I climb behind our chairs in the movie theater, and like 2 rows of recliners were all unplugged from the back wall. I think just some kid was fucking with people. So I went back and like plugged them all in, and then they all worked. But I was like, you know what? This is the attitude you have to take in life. Like, the world tries to get in your way. No, you can't bring milkshakes. No, your chair doesn't recline. And you say, yes, we
I
can.
This is a lesson for women. You can bring a milkshake.
You
just
can.
need to wear a puffy coat.
Yeah, you just have to shove it in the back of your leggings.
Wow. Okay. I'm so sorry. I felt like people needed to hear that story. It was a PSA.
Yeah, it's not allowed in case for some reason you live.
In case your husband tries to convince you otherwise.
Yeah. So we saw Wicked, and let me tell you my experience with Wicked.
Okay.
It's my favorite musical, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I've loved Wicked since it came out. When it came out, my parents went to see it for the first time over the summer when I was away at overnight camp. So that was my chance to go because I was like 10. Didn't see it then, but doesn't matter. Nothing will keep me from the soundtrack. So I'm just bustling, listening to the soundtrack, acting like I've seen it when I haven't. But I keep asking my friends, what was it like,
Give me the deets.
The next opportunity to go see it comes around early on in high school. My parents are going again. I don't know where I was, but wasn't invited.
Didn't go.
So my parents have now seen it twice without me. They're my ride and financial stability. I have no other option to see
They're
it.
the financial backing of this operation.
Yes. No one is taking me to see Wicked. It's so fine. finally, my senior year. It's my birthday, my 18th birthday. My best friend is like, we're going to go see Wicked. She'd already seen it like twice, obviously, because everyone had.
You.
And I was like, really? She got us tickets. It was like the third row. I mean, it was like a life-changing experience for me. We went downtown. We saw it. It was
exquisite.
As good as I thought it was going to be. And since then, I've seen it a couple more times once I could start taking myself, because obviously my parents don't give a fuck about what I love.
They can't be counted on for musicals.
No. And so I had high standards for this film. Like, and most Broadway or musical movie adaptations kind of suck. I mean, like, Les Mis, Hairspray, sad.
Les Mis, pretty miss.
Pretty miss. And the press tour with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, it was just like going on and on. I was like, oh my God, is this movie going to be like so gimmicky and stupid? Like, nothing could ruin the music for me, but wow.
They were trying.
They were really trying.
That press tour is really trying.
Yep. And Mike also loves Wicked.
He does.
When we were all going to go see it together, your husband texted him and said, hey, if the girls want to see Wicked, instead of going, would you want to see Gladiator 2? And Mike was like, nah, dog.
Not really. I love Wicked.
Big Wicked guy over here.
Tyler was like, huh. Like, literally has no clue about Wicked. We're going to go Wednesday night, though. So no one
that's insane.
No one worry about us.
So we go in. I'm like, I just hope this is like good. Like, it's going to be weird to hear the songs sung by different people because you're so used to hearing Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth on the Broadway soundtrack version. Like, it's just going to be odd. And let me tell you, it was the best movie I've ever seen.
Wow. That's high praise coming from you.
I know. I don't think it's because I just saw it and it was so good. I really said the last time I had that feeling at the end of a movie was when I saw The Help.
Oh, you love The Help. Ain't you tired, Hilly?
Yes.
You love saying that.
Like, when the movie ended, I couldn't get out of my chair.
Wow.
Like, it was so good.
Fuck. Okay.
There were multiple times that people cried where you wouldn't even expect. Like, it's not like you're crying in the musical.
Interesting.
The versions of the songs that Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande did were so good. It was like paying homage to the songs you love with their own twist.
Wow.
To make it better. Like,
I might cut this short to go see it right now.
It was so good.
Damn.
I literally was like, they did. I don't want to spoil anything.
Please don't.
Do you want to know the cameo?
No.
Okay.
I want to go in really, like, blind.
Okay. Well, that would require going in.
We're going to go Wednesday. We had a family emergency that kept us from going Thursday night, but we're going Wednesday.
Yesterday, ass is on the couch.
Football Sunday.
Yeah, nothing could keep you away from that.
Honestly, I was just really tired from the weekend. But,
so,
yeah.
You know how it's like the world of Oz?
Yeah.
They built the whole set, like Shiz University, like they built a whole set. It wasn't CGI.
Wow.
And it literally looked like Hogwarts in color. Like, it was such a, like,
transformative place.
Yes, like it was such a crazy thing to look at. Like, not only was the movie so good, it was so, like, visually stunning.
Interesting. I'm fucking excited.
I mean, it's part 1.
Right. So does part 2 come out next year?
Yes.
Okay.
So, like, some of the good songs for Good is not in this one.
Oh, I fucking love For Good.
Well, it's in part 2.
Well,
obviously.
What does that do for me?
Also, act 2 of the musical.
I know, but like, ugh, okay.
And they did some really cute things in the movie to, like, honor Wizard of Oz, the movie. So, like, the opening credits is in the Wizard of Oz, like, font. Like, you'll recognize it right away.
Cool. That's very cool.
And they did a couple things of, like, Elphaba riding a bike, like Dorothy.
Yeah.
And there's, like, a little animal that sticks his head out of the basket, like Toto.
Oh.
So they just did, like, cool things like
Little Easter
that.
eggs.
Yes. And you know it's different, like, if you're a fan of the show, then
You know it's different.
I mean, I sound like I'm like a Broadway.
You sound pretty Broadway right now.
I know. I'm not.
Well, I'm very excited. And I'm glad you loved it.
I mean, like the last song is Defying Gravity.
So good. The musical is like far and away the best sound. Like every song is a banger.
Yes.
You don't get that with musicals usually.
I mean, like Dear Old Shiz, I don't love.
Yeah.
There's some that like I'm not obsessed with, but most of them.
Damn.
But yeah, Defying Gravity is how the first act ends. Like,
Right.
And I mean,
people are holding space for that right now.
They are. I don't know.
What does that mean?
Just like
what was that interviewer saying?
I think she was just saying, I've watched it a few times now, that interview. I think she was just saying that like people don't really talk about like what the undertone of Defying Gravity is. Like, what does that song actually mean?
Okay.
Because it's not about like jumping on a broom and flying around. Like in the actual text it is.
Right. But in like a symbolic way.
But in real life, it's about like going against the odds and doing
Defying
something
them.
that people don't think that you can do.
It is a
So that is
beautiful sentiment. It was such a unclear exchange
Yes.
that was like cringy.
I think you have to see the movie to understand it. I'm not kidding.
Okay. All right. I'm going Wednesday.
None of the press feels cringy to me anymore.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like their relationship, they were saying how like there's so much like Hollywood diva. I've watched so many interviews. There's so much Hollywood diva, like two star leading ladies who don't like each other and like are not going to share the spotlight. Well, whatever. And they went into it being like, that is not what we want for each other. Like this is a show about friendship at its core. Like it's about the relationship between Galinda and Elphaba. And they had never met. They didn't know each other at all. They lived together for 2 weeks in an apartment in London before filming. Just the two of them to get to know each other.
I'm sold.
And became like the best of friends.
So nothing makes you feel cringy now.
No.
Huh.
Really nothing. I think you really just have to see the movie.
Because you know how I love shit that's in your feels. I love friendship. I love like being obsessed with one another. So like I'm ready.
There's a scene at the Ozdust Ballroom where like things change.
Oh.
You'll see.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay,
I wish that we could actually talk about it, but we
there's
can't.
probably so many people who haven't seen it also, and so we don't want to be a spoiler.
Yeah. When it ended, I'm not kidding. Like the credits were rolling and no one was getting, I mean like.
You were shook.
Yeah.
You were sad, as the
And
children said.
yeah, I was fucking sad. And so was Mike. He was like, he literally kept going, wow, wow, wow.
Damn. Okay.
He was between a woman who was like probably in her 70s who was like bopping along, you know, because you can't sing. And it's really hard not to sing
Yeah.
when you know all the words. But you don't want to hear someone else singing. So you're just like mouthing along the words, you know, bopping around. He was like, I was sitting between you, who was like bopping around, finger dancing, and her, who was doing the same thing. And I was like, I am just at a
silent disco.
a celebration.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm dying to get off this call right now and go see it. Well, I'm just excited not to hate all the press, personally.
It'll change your view.
Because I'm getting a little annoyed, but once I love something, they can do no wrong.
Yes.
Like that's just who I am as a person. So I'm excited to feel that way. I'm sure I'll love it if you love it. Ooh, I'm excited.
There's a crazy cameo.
Damn.
Get to it. Hop to it, sister.
We're going.
Bring your milkshakes.
Yeah, we'll bring it back though, so we don't encounter any of that pushback. I do have an icebreaker. It's not Wicked themed though. Maybe it should have been.
But obviously, you're Galinda and I'm Elphaba.
Yes, of course. Although I think we both have tendencies of the other.
That could be said for anything.
Yeah, true. All right. Well, I always have like I always have an emotional response to For Good for some reason. Like I just feel like it's our unofficial song. Our real song is that Lone Star song.
I'm already there.
I'm already there. But I feel like our unofficial song is For Good. Ugh, I could tear up now. So I'm sad that you're right. It's in part 2.
That people come into our lives for a reason.
Yeah. Oh God, what an amazing song. Okay. Back to my icebreaker. you love pasta, so I feel like this is a you coded question.
Favorite food group.
What is, if you could only eat one type of noodle with all sauces forever?
With all sausage?
Like you no sausage.
I was like, I don't like sausage.
Like it's a buttered noodle, it's a spaghetti noodle. Like this is just like the noodle.
The only noodle you can ever
the supreme noodle. What would you pick?
Ooh.
I think I have kind of an unconventional one.
I know you're gonna say fucking like elbows.
No, but similar.
I really feel like I would have to do capellini.
Which one's that one?
Angel hair.
Oh, you do love angel hair.
It's so good. I know people are so split. Like spaghetti sucks. It's so hard to eat. But like it's not if you just like twirl it around your fork. Yeah. It's not that hard, you barbarian. Number 2.
Imbecile.
I just feel like it tastes so good with whatever is on it. Like
it's great with butter. You love it with butter.
I love it with butter, olive oil, marinara, whatever the fuck it is.
Okay, I would say bow tie. I don't know what the official name of bow tie pasta is, but I feel like it is a nice vessel for grated cheese.
I also feel that way about shells.
Yes, like it picks up the sauce. It picks up penne. I feel like everything slips off of it. Like
penne is not anyone's
like
first
elbows.
choice.
Like I just feel like they're like slippery. Where I feel like bow tie, the texture and the shape is like it gives you a quality bite every time.
I was actually kind of torn between capellini and shells.
Interesting. I love shells too, but I would go capellini.
Shells gather things inside.
Yes, that's what I love.
That's
like,
good.
That's how I feel about the little like folds of the bow tie. Oh. It's just pasta science.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So thanks for entertaining that for me.
Oh, you know what I wanted to tell you? I saw a story from people that I wanted to ask you about because obviously our friend has twins.
Yeah.
So this mom made like a story on TikTok and then people started reposting it, whatever, and people did an article. So it says, mom says it's, quote, all or nothing after only one of her twins is invited to a birthday party without the other.
Oh, interesting.
And she says, and the article says, when a mom of twins discovered one of her daughters was invited to a classmate's party, but the other was not, she didn't know what to do. Kristen shared the situation with her TikTok community and commenters were divided on how to proceed. Ultimately, Kristen reached out to the birthday child's mom, a move that also had commenters sharing both support and criticism. She says, she details a situation in which one of her 5-year-old identical twin girls was invited to a party when the other wasn't. When it comes to her twin, she says her gut tells her that it's all or nothing. Kristen's video went viral after people thought her take was wrong. They said, I've been active on TikTok for 5 years and I've had some other things that are controversial, but this did not feel like something that was going to be that, she tells people. I was incredibly surprised by the amount of negative feedback in response to the situation. Taking a glance at the guest list, Kristen noticed the rest of the girls' class was invited. This gave her an inkling that some kind of mix-up had occurred in omitting one of her daughters. A few identical twin parents in her comments questioned whether the birthday child was even aware that the twins were 2 separate kids.
Interesting.
They had experiences where their kids were identical and a friend didn't understand they were playing with 2 separate kids.
That's funny.
Did the kid see 2 people in front of them?
Is your kid an idiot?
I'm so confused.
That's funny.
The kid have double vision? Everyone is in 2s? These are 2 people, FYI. That kid needs help. Okay. She said, I did think about it because my girls are super identical. Kristen ultimately found herself on the fence about how to handle the situation. She felt inclined to pass on the party altogether, but knew that the girls were interested in going. After some debate about how to best handle it, she decided to reach out to the birthday child's mom to clarify whether one or both girls were invited. And people also criticized this decision, saying, why would you reach out to the mom to confirm? She says, I still don't think it was wrong to reach out. I made it very clear when I messaged the mom that I was embarrassed to even be sending her a message and that either answer was totally okay. So anyway.
So she intended to only invite one child.
She intended to invite one child. It sounds to me from this very long article that, you know, when you invite like your whole class, when you're the girls are 5.
Yeah.
So like in kindergarten.
You just invite everyone.
Your whole class is invited. They're identical twins, but they're not in the same class.
Oh,
so why would the other one be invited?
Yeah, that's totally different. I was actually going to take the stance that, like, I do think you should always have to invite your whole class up until high school. Or I guess, like, if your middle school is massive. But
middle school?
Like, for some, I do bar and bat mitzvahs, and some are required to invite everyone.
No, I know, but, like, that's a bar and bat mitzvah. A birthday party?
Yeah.
You're not in one class in
that's
middle
true.
School. You're going from class to class.
I just fucking hate when kids are allowed to not invite the whole class when they're in elementary school.
Yeah, when they're little, I think that sucks for sure.
Like, when I was in elementary school, I had she was a good friend of mine, but, like, not at school. Really, our moms were really good friends. And we had a birthday party coming up, like a sleepover, and her mom called my mom and was like, hey, Lizzie asked me to go get a birthday present for this birthday party, and I cannot find the invitation anywhere. Like, I must have misplaced it. And my mom was like, oh, no problem. Like, you know, it was the 90s. She probably, like, faxed it to her or something. And so she got the invitation, whatever. She then called the mom just to be like, hey, I just want to confirm, maybe I'm crazy, but I really don't think I ever got this invitation. Did I lose it, or is Lizzie invited? And the mom was like, no, she's not invited. And she was the only girl in our grade not invited to this birthday party.
Well, that's really weird.
So
and
then
like targeted.
I wasn't allowed to go.
Oh.
My mom in solidarity.
Justice.
But, like, that's fucked.
No, I agree with that. In this situation, it's like, okay, I mean, you're inviting a class, and, like, you know, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
People's outside the class can't be invited unless it's like a close friend of theirs, you know? And it doesn't sound like this girl's birthday party was the girl who was the birthday girl was that close with one of the twins that
She
like
just was on the list.
she was just on the list. But I think generally, do both twins need to be invited to things?
I only think if they're in the same thing. I don't think you need to just, as rule of thumb, personally invite both twins.
But you know what? Mike had his best friend growing up was a triplet.
Yeah.
One was a boy. I mean, two were boys, one was a girl.
Okay.
And like the two boys were so different. One was like really like athletic and like into sports and whatever. And that was Mike's best friend. And the other one was more like introverted, like quiet, really nice guy, but just like didn't do the same activities at all. And Mike was like, we didn't always hang out with him, but he was always invited. Like it was always just like, if you're inviting Alex, then you have to kind of assume that Brad might come.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's really tricky with twins specifically because
same grade, they know all the same people.
Yeah, because you don't want to create a competitiveness between the two of them, which is what inevitably is going to happen if one is getting invited to things and the other isn't.
Right.
Like, you just want to keep them on even footing. And if like one clicks better with your kid, great, but you got to invite the other one. Now, I think it's different with play dates.
Okay.
Like, I don't necessarily think you need to, because I think twins also need their own identity. Like, I think if it's like a one-on-one play date, that's so nice that both twins are always invited. But I think if like you're really good friends with twin A, in the beginning, sure, you can invite both. But if like your best friend is twin A and you're friendly with twin B, it doesn't mean that twin B needs to come to everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Because now it's not fair.
But what if twin B is like more socially awkward, kind of a loser, and like just like wants to come along? Then it's like, oh, I gotta hang out with twin B too.
I think it's up to the parents to say like, twin B, you have to make your own friends. I just don't think it's healthy for them to like.
But like twin A goes out, is fun, having like a great time on the weekends, and twin B is like home doing nothing. Yeah.
But that's the same thing you would have with siblings regardless.
I think it's hard when they're the same gender. When it's one of each, it's like just being siblings.
Yeah. I don't know. My grandpa was just like so random, but my grandpa was an identical twin and they did literally absolutely everything together.
Until their wives hated each other.
They definitely did.
And then there was not so much to be done
Trouble
together.
in paradise. They didn't hate each other, but they had their issues. But they did absolutely everything together.
Can you imagine you're like so close with someone, they're your twin, you go through like, you know, life in the womb
life and the womb
and outside the womb together, and then you both pick life partners who don't like each other, and it's like, well, see you later then.
No, literally.
The wives are like, I'm not hanging out with her. And you're like, oh, really?
I feel like truthfully they should have put that aside for their husbands.
It didn't seem like there was much being put aside in terms of bending over backwards to make your grandpa happy.
No, but it's just like, I can't imagine whatever. It's a side note.
It was Mo's Way or the Highway.
But my grandpa used to say
and Mo, if you're out there.
Mo? Anyways, my grandpa said it was really frustrating. Like, people only knew them as the Van Dien twins.
And like didn't even know who was who.
Like, didn't know who was who. Sometimes didn't even know that their names were Jim and John. Now, again, this was like the 50s and 60s, but he was like very adamant. Anytime he like knew twins, it was like very important to him, or I knew twins, it was very important. He'd be like, you need to learn their names. Like, it's just like annoying to be a part of a combo.
I feel like when they do so much together, like you can either be like totally different people. Like, we had really good friends in college, twin boys.
Yeah.
Who were in the same frat.
Yep.
Like the Marquez twins. And it was just like, oh, are the Marquez's going to be there? Like, you didn't even know when you first became friends with them, you didn't know who was who.
Which I'm sure was annoying.
But like how annoying when you are in the same frat. Like, maybe join a different frat.
Well, I think they wanted to be together. It's like your closest person in the world. Bet they got invited to every birthday party together.
Probably because you couldn't tell them apart. It was like, yeah, you or you.
It was so crazy to me that people couldn't tell them apart. I knew them from freshman year, and I thought they looked so different to me. Like, I think that's what happens with twins. And people would be so confused. And I was like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, once you got to know them. But like when you see a stranger, you're like, they're the same person.
Oh, look at that.
But I think if you want to have separate identities, then you do other things. Like maybe go to the same college, but not the same frat. Like, there are twins who go to different colleges.
Yeah, that's true.
And then people are like, you're a twin? Whoa.
Freaky.
But like, if it's the same gender, I think it's hard to... They're not the same person.
No, they're different people.
So one might be invited to a birthday party and the other isn't.
Which I think is okay, unless they're in the same class.
I just think if I was throwing that birthday party and twin A was in my kid's class and twin B wasn't, and then the twin's mom was like, hey, just wondering, is twin B also invited? Because twin A won't be... And twin A's like, you know, gonna come, but the mom's like, twin A won't be able to come if twin B can't, because like, you know, I don't want to leave them out. I'd be like, what?
I guess though you would know better than me at like this point about logistics. That would be kind of annoying though, if you have two kids at the same age and you're gonna take one to a birthday party and you still have the other one.
Yeah, that's having twins.
That's on having twins.
And that's just what comes with having twins.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, one might get dropped off at a birthday party and then you have to figure out what to do with the other one.
I can't imagine you with twins, actually.
No.
That's not your journey?
Twins?
Yeah.
No. Absolutely not. I would be like, I can't deal with you right now because the other one is doing something else.
Shh.
Like, this one's crying and then the other one starts crying and it's like, oh, convenient timing.
Where'd you get that idea?
Now you're crying? Okay. Must not be authentic.
How original. Oh, that's funny. I've been dying to tell you, I don't know if you saw that Schwartz and Sandy's is officially closing at the end of the year.
Does that mean that like the business was suffering? Or?
I'm sure. I mean, it never really wasn't suffering. Like, Tom Schwartz is an idiot. Tom Sandoval is an idiot who blew up his life while also trying to get a business off the ground. And then they had Greg, who was like their poor silent partner who was getting yanked all around town. But anyone who ever writes on any like blog post or website says like the place is deserted.
Wow.
And it's in kind of did we see it? I think we saw it. It was in like a strip mall.
Did we?
It's in like the weirdest fucking place. Tyler has a coworker because his coworkers, a lot of them work remote, and she lives like adjacent to Schwartz and Sandy's, and she said it's like in a strip mall, weirdest location.
Like, who's going there?
Deserted. And I just love that for once, honestly, both of them, not just Sandoval, Tom Schwartz, if you ever watch Vanderpump Rules, was a horrendous partner who
he is Tom Schwartz or Sandoval?
Well, I was saying Tom Schwartz was a horrendous partner, even though he didn't have, I mean, I'm sure he did have affairs, but he didn't blow up his life. He was just a piece of shit always on the show and really shitty to Katie Maloney. And obviously we all saw Sandoval unfold. And I just love that for once men are being like feeling the ramifications of their affairs.
Yeah, fuck you. We're going to not come and support your business.
It's just like so typical. Like I feel like, you know, Bill Clinton, great president, had an affair, got impeached. What did that really mean? Like it meant nothing. Like just typically men do fucked up things. I don't want to generalize all men, not the men we know and love, but men. And it's like nothing ever happens. They get promoted, they get a raise, they get a new job. It's like, oh, you were a piece of shit and now your weird ass restaurant done. So they released a statement. They literally wrote the last line of it is, "We are forever indebted to you. Franklin Village is a magical place." No one has ever heard of Franklin Village.
Where's that?
Exactly.
Is that where their bar
Must
is?
have been there.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
So were they not opening the other place too? Wasn't there a spinoff?
No, I don't think so. Jax has like a bar within a bar. Lisa Vanderpump is.
Was she?
Wolf.
Tom Tom.
They've had Tom Tom.
Is Tom Tom fine?
Yeah, I think Tom Tom's fine because they're only like 5% owners in that.
Okay.
Schwartz and Sandy's was like truly their endeavor.
Waste of time. Yeah.
So yeah, another reckoning for those two assholes.
Love to hear it. Oh, Sandoval's going to be on the new season of The Traitors. I know you don't watch, but
that fits. Mm-hmm. That's kind of, I think, where reality stars go to die. Is it not?
I mean, no. It's a very high quality show, but you refuse to watch it. So.
You're like, no, but I resent that statement. Did you see Kelsey announced baby number 4?
I did, and I saw it's another girl.
It is.
What are the chances of that?
It's crazy. The genes.
Like, you've got 4 kids and all girls.
Crazy.
There must be something about that.
Yeah. DNA.
That he can only do girls.
I'm sorry, I'm a girls only program. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the fact that they even are having a 4th child is so crazy to me. Like, I, for some reason, thought she had said that she was done. And I know not that long ago, she went on TikTok and was like, I'm not pregnant. And they did this like cut to like her announcement. So I don't know if they were necessarily on this journey. Who's to say? But sure. I think they're just the cutest little family. So I'm obsessed. And I love that Jason's now retired. He has that late night show coming out with ESPN, but I feel like he'll get to be around more and his girls are still really young.
Yeah, they're all so cute.
Yeah, so it's nice that they'll be together and I'm obsessed. I'm so in on the Kelce family. Like, sign me up for a reality show of that. But they're too quality for that.
But not like Jason and Travis's parents.
Oh, I love Johnna.
I'm just more interested in Jason and Kylie.
I love Jason and Kylie, but I love Travis. I love Donna. I love Big Ed. Like, I want a reality show, but I don't want
There was one. It was that documentary that was so good.
Yeah, but it wasn't a reality show. Like, it
wasn't
like,
long enough.
No, but like, I want more of that, but I also love them so much that I don't want that journey for them. Like, reality shows come to kill families.
Totally.
And I don't, so like, don't give it to me, but I would love it.
That Kylie Kelce story just reminded me of a Daily Dilemma I wanted to do.
Ooh, what is it?
So this person wrote and said, I feel embarrassed even posting this because I know how hard it is for a lot of people to get pregnant and like just having a healthy child is a blessing in its own. But she said, we have 2 girls and we were kind of on the fence about having another baby, but I've always kind of seen myself with a boy. My husband was like, I'd love to have a boy. So we were like, let's go for a 3rd. Like, if it's a girl, of course we'll be happy, but like, we'd love to have a boy. And she was like, we just got the gender and found out that we're having another girl. So we'll have 3 girls. This will for sure be our last baby. Like, we're not going to have 4 children. Mm-hmm. And she was like, I didn't anticipate feeling as sad as I do. Like, it was like, she was like, I'm just knowing that I will never have a boy.
It's upsetting to her.
She's very upset. She said, I have a big family and I love how close I am with my sisters. And of course, I hope that my girls will have a bond like us, but I can't get over this feeling of disappointment. I feel selfish and don't love feeling that way. Also, my husband is the only boy in his family, so he won't get to pass his name on to anybody because it'll just be girls.
Yeah.
And she was like, I feel awful, and I'm just wondering if this feeling ever goes away. And so a lot of people were commenting, saying, like, gender disappointment is so real. And apparently this is like a phrase of the last...
I've seen a lot of it online.
You have?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talking about gender disappointment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So apparently, like, people are just being more open and honest about
that feeling.
Probably, like, I'm sure people have been feeling that for a long time.
Since the dawn of time.
Since you could first find out what you were having.
100%. I mean, have you ever seen like any documentary about the royal family? Those women were experiencing gender disappointment every time it was a girl. They were like, fuck, I need an heir.
Really?
Yeah, that was like a whole thing, like an heir and a spare.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So all these people posted saying, like, I also felt kind of sad, like my babies were close in age and I already had 2 boys and found out I was having another boy, or like they found out that they had a girl, they're only having 1 more, and they had another girl and they were like, so we're just gonna have 2 girls. And it goes the other way too. Like they were like, I wanted to have 2 girls, but then I got 1 of each. Like it's whatever
right
each person wants.
It's just like a disappointment from what you had pictured.
This person then commented, why don't you do IVF then if you really wanted a son?
Huh?
Like, okay, what? And then, you know, a bunch of people were like, huh? She's not saying that, like...
that she'd change it. It just, like, wasn't what she was expecting.
Right. And this woman wrote, I'm a mom of 4 boys. The 4th boy was definitely where I had the most disappointment because we knew it was definitely our last. It took a week or so for the intense sadness to go away, but by the time I had him, I was so happy. There are some times where people would announce having a girl, but I obviously love all my boys. Like, yeah, you're gonna love your kids.
Of course.
Like, it's not like you're gonna resent them and be like,
what the hell?
Why are you a
boy? Yeah.
But it was just an interesting, people were kind of like split in the comments of like, just be grateful. And she says, like, I feel bad even
voicing this. Yeah, I mean, it's so tricky because...
like, if you really are only going to have 2 children...
right.
And you, like, have always seen yourself with 1 of each... like, your first one, you've always seen yourself with boys. Your first one's a girl, and then your next one's a girl, and you're like... and I will never have a boy.
I think it's not hard for me to understand. I've never really pictured myself with any gender, interestingly. So I don't know if I'll be able to relate to that, but I know that people do. Like, people are like, I just feel like I'm a boy mom, or I feel like I'm a girl mom. And like, I totally understand and empathize with like one picture you have for your life and it not
going that way.
And I think that's a very human feeling and there's no shame in that. So like, it's not like she was like, I'm devastated and this is something I'll never recover from. I think the more we can let people be honest about their really human feelings, the better we're all off. So feel that way, go through the motions, process it, and then have your 3 girls and ride into the sunset.
But I do think it could be normal to feel that way.
I think it's super normal. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's with anything. Like, if you picture yourself getting a certain job and then you don't and you get a different job, it doesn't mean you aren't grateful to have that job. You just pictured yourself in a different position. If you want a house and you put in an offer and you don't get the house, but you get a different house, you can love the other house, but you're like, that house on Maple seemed like, that's a very human feeling because we all get ahead of ourselves sometimes and are like, we like play God in our mind. We're like, this is how it should be. This is what I picture. And then when things don't match that picture, it's a very normal feeling to feel like, oh, fuck.
And I think the same thing applies. I mean, grief is a bad term to use in this particular scenario because like you shouldn't be grieving the fact. But like when you picture yourself like bringing your kids over to your parents' house as their grandparents and then like one of your parents dies, like that wasn't the picture that you had. And so you have to like grieve that
experience
idea and like process and then move on.
Totally. I don't think there's anything wrong in admitting an honest feeling.
I wonder how your mother-in-law would have felt.
She was certain. So my mother-in-law has 3 boys and then a girl. She was certain that her daughter, that Haley, was a boy. Like, had no doubt in her mind.
Did she want a girl?
She hadn't even like considered having a girl.
She's such a boy mom.
She's such a boy mom. But she did not even like, she said like, I didn't even picture a world where we were going to have a girl.
Yeah.
Like after you have 3 boys, you're kind of like, I have boys.
Yeah, boys it is.
Like she wasn't trying to have a girl. She was just, they wanted to have a 4th. But it worked out how it was supposed to. Like she loves having a daughter, and like Haley's like the princess of the fam. Like she has 3 older brothers. But I think everyone has their own process. Like I think if I had been a boy, my mom would have been really disappointed. She was a single mom.
When you were born, I think she was just happy to have a baby.
Totally. But she has said like, I was like, I don't know what I'll do with a boy.
Yeah.
Like she was like, I'm a single mom being helped by both of my parents. But my grandma had like a very active role in my upbringing. So did my great grandma. Like it was kind of like, hope it's a girl, like surrounded by women.
Right.
Which isn't a bad thing. But I think my mom would have been like, oh.
But I think her life is better because you're a girl.
100%.
So like that kind of sucks for people who are like, my life would be better.
But I think we're only saying that because this is the life she's lived.
No.
No, that's not true. Okay. I think if I was a boy, she would have been just as fine. Definitely like different.
I don't think it would have been as fun for her.
Probably not, but.
And she probably knew that. And that's probably what these other people know.
But I think it's unique. Like I think being a single mom, like not even just like a single mom, like like my mom wasn't even like a divorced mom who like started out with a partner. My mom was like knew she was raising a child completely on her own. I think that's really daunting to raise the opposite gender completely on your own. I think probably the same is true for like a dad who's like going to end up being a single parent.
I really feel like when I see families with single parents, maybe this is unique to me. I don't know, but I think probably most people feel this way. So when you see like 2 kids and it's just them and their dad, or you see 2 kids and it's just them and their mom, like not even like if you know that they're a single parent or not, you're just like, they're at the store. Mm-hmm. They're at the grocery store and it's 2 kids with their dad. You're like, you're probably thinking, I mean, I'm thinking like that dad is probably struggling. Like it's the dad and just the 2 kids. Like he's like, just trying to keep people alive here.
Yeah.
And when you see 2 kids with their mom, it's not like you're like, ooh, struggling. You're like, this bitch has it together.
Well, I think naturally moms are a little bit more equipped to wrangle children. I don't think dads are incapable or like can't learn to do that. But I think it's probably more inherent to be a single parent if you're a mom.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if it's like just them and their dad, I'm not like, oh my God, your life sucks. I'm more like that dad is struggling.
I think dads probably have to put a lot more effort into being a really with it single parent than single moms do.
Yeah, like single moms are like, okay, I'll do it on my own then.
But I also think single moms get more of a pass sometimes than single dads do. Like single moms are.
I feel like single dads, like if you find out someone's a single dad, it's like, you probably want to do so much for them because you're like, how are you doing this?
No, but I just mean like single dads. It's like because they're expected to be a mess, kind of. It's like, you know, if a single dad shows up at school and he's like, oh my God, what day is it? They don't have lunch today. It's like, oh, poor Johnny. He's just trying to keep it together. And like mom comes in and she's exhausted and it's like, oh my God, they don't have lunch today. And it's like, can you believe Cindy sent them to school today without lunch?
Exactly. Because Cindy, whether you're a single mom or not, you need to have it together.
Yes, exactly. Like the expectation is more daunting for women. Per usual.
And we must rise to the occasion.
Rise up, rise like the mom.
But back to my dilemma.
I think that's so normal.
I do too.
No shame. And I appreciate her being honest about it.
I'm glad that the term gender disappointment, it doesn't mean that like you are not going to love whatever child you have. I think it's just like saying like, I had this picture and.
You experienced gender disappointment because I kept telling you I felt like Jack was a girl.
Yeah. I mean, when I was pregnant, I was totally fine to have either because it's like your first kid.
Yeah,
so like
it kind of sets the tone. Like your first kid, it's like I still have more chances to have the other.
Oh yeah,
like
but
you're not like it's like okay, so it'll be what it'll be.
You're not like
There's
and I'm not having this.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
I'll try next day. Yeah.
But you have like self-proclaimed psychic abilities.
Which you will agree sometimes shine through.
Sometimes they do. And you were like, I know you're having a girl. And I was like, really?
It.
Like, I don't have any feelings about it. And so, but then you were like, no, it's a girl. So I was like, oh, that's so crazy. I'm having a girl. So like, this was before I had the gender tested. And so then when the test came out and it was like, you know, you're cutting into the cake or whatever the fuck, and it was a boy, I was like, this is how much I believed in your psychic abilities. Like I was like, the test must be wrong.
That really was a feather not in my cap. Whatever the opposite of that is.
Yeah, a link in your chain or something.
Maybe I got confused. Like maybe I was seeing a future daughter.
Oh yeah, it has nothing to do with your psychic abilities. I was really like, are they sure?
I really thought it was a girl.
To the point where my parents were like, what made you so sure? And I was like, Johnna. They were like, did you have any like, you know, old wives' tales? Or no, Johnna said it was a girl.
In hindsight, all of your pregnancy symptoms, although you were sick the first trimester.
What does that have to do
Usually
with
I think they say that's for a girl.
No, I don't think that's anything.
Really? Maybe that's just this girl I follow on TikTok. On TikTok. Kellyanne.
She gives you all this info.
She had just had a girl like 18 months ago, or not even, like 16 months ago, and was like super sick, didn't feel well, like gained a ton of weight, all these things, is pregnant with her boy, has not been sick a day in her life, like does not look pregnant from behind, like different pregnancy.
Oh,
so like before she even had the test, she was like, I'm having a boy. Like this pregnancy couldn't be any more different.
Yeah, I was just sure as shit, and then
sorry about that. That was my fault.
But then I was like, okay, having a boy.
Mobby. And he's perfect. Oh my God, I forgot to say in the beginning that we took Jack to soccer this weekend.
Oh.
We had so much fun. He's so cute.
He's a soccer star. Just kidding. He's not that good.
And like, not to be biased, no, but he actually was the best kid there. Like, sorry if the other kids are listening. Like,
I don't know how good you can be when you're 2.
That's why it was shocking.
Oh, and that's why it was absolutely shocking. Thankful for you.
Thankful for you. We would be incredibly thankful this Thanksgiving week if you would find it in your Thanksgiving heart to share this with 1 or 2 friends who might not have listened. We would be very, very grateful. And we're already grateful for you. So thank you for listening.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Love ya.
Call you later.
Bye.